Thank you, Chairperson. All across the country, SMEs are worried and struggling heading into this winter due to the rising costs, higher interest rates and waning consumer confidence. While the government used the rationale for this bill as the war in Ukraine, many other factors are also to blame. For example, the government's ongoing dysfunctional energy policies mean that Irish consumers are paying much higher prices for petrol, diesel, home heating oil and electricity than almost any other European citizen. Yes, the war on Ukraine is driving up energy and commodity prices, and it's making it harder to get certain materials, but it is deeply cynical for the government to hide behind the war when its own policies are causing the most pain for Irish consumers. The taxes being charged in energy in Ireland are higher than any other EU country. Our carbon taxes are amongst the highest anywhere in the world. These factors are causing our energy prices to soar. Then there is the fact that the government will not provide security of domestic energy supply by opening up drilling for new oil and gas supplies off our coast. The Ukraine Enterprise Crisis Scheme and the measures will hopefully help businesses competing internationally and suffering the broader effects of skyrocketing energy costs. However, it will do absolutely nothing to tackle the underlying cause of this crisis situation. This credit scheme is expected to open before the end of the year, providing low-cost unsecured working capital for SMEs and primary producers. The government said that it is designed to help them spread increased input costs and limit the distribution to supply chains. As Minister Donoghue and this government continue to give red carpet treatment to the head of the ECB, ordinary people are being hit hard by the actions of the ECB rate hikes, which will do more damage than intended and now almost certainly trigger deep recessions in many EU countries such as Germany, France and Italy, and Ireland worse still. It will see thousands of Irish mortgage holders lose their homes as they will not be able to meet the rising monthly loan repayments, Minister. On paper, the two-tier Irish economy, thanks to the robust exports from the multinational based here and the buoyant corporate tax receipts, will keep growing. However, the domestic economy, which impacts our people and every community, will struggle gravely, Minister. And that's what I've been told when I'm meeting with publicans, with restaurant owners, cafe owners, hoteliers, in the last few months, some family-owned supermarkets and farmers and fishermen. They're in a crisis situation, Minister, and they feel at times, you know, you've been throwing 200 quid to the householder here and there, but the bottom line is their bills are astronomical. 200 quid is going to do nothing for these people. The few quid they're getting, a lot of businesses are worried. I met the hoteliers there a few months ago in Clonakilty, and they told me that some of them their families would have to work free next year. Imagine they won't take any money themselves, the family ran hotels. So, you know, and at the same time then, you're saying that you're going to leave the VAT rate at 9%, but that you might increase it to 13.5% in February. You have to come clear and have to give clarity on that straight away here, Minister, maybe even tonight. Surely the government understands the pressure some of these hotels are. They're not all taking in refugees, they're actually hotels that rely on a summer trade to do their business. And believe it or not, as I said, their families are going to have to work free next year if it continues the way it's continued. So even if you go from 9% to 13.5%, it'll have devastating consequences for quite a lot of these. And the same with shop owners. You see, the problem is if they can't, if their costs are going rocketing like 30,000, 40,000 for ESB bills a month. Now that has to go on to the drum of milk, to the loaf of bread, to the eggs. It has to go on to the shelf because they can't take the hit, or else lessen the staff on the ground, which is going to be another blow, factored in some other way. But the problem is, Minister, the crux of the whole issue is that you were caught napping. You were caught asleep at the wheel, and successive governments, not just this government, successive governments are asleep at the wheel, because we should have had our own energy supply. We should have had our own fuel, and people love to think in here, and so many waffle away spin that we can do without fuel. We can't, because how does people get in here every day? 99.9% of them drive here. And that's the way it is at the moment, and there's no alternative. If there was an alternative, I'd be the first jumping up and down here to support it. It's not there, Minister. So these people that completely continue to say here that we don't need to look at, we're delighted that the Kinsale gas and oil field is ending, that we don't need to open an oil field in Barryrow. They're all in a cloud cuckoo land. The best experts in the world will tell you wind energy will not take the place of any of these fuels until 2035, 2040. And anybody else that's inside here spinning, I'll spin, and they tried that inside the AV room over a week ago when we had experts in here, and they were all quietened with the flick of a finger because they got true answers and honest answers. A lot of them don't want to hear that, but that's the fact. So there's also proposals here for LNG floating gas terminal, very clean fuel that could be put through the pipes maybe in Kinsale, as long as you don't fill them with concrete, which is a very strong rumoured proposal by the government, which has to be watched very carefully. So, you know, we met a company today. They told us they bought 250,000 euros worth, 250,000 tonne of Colombian coal. So it's brought out in from Colombia, but we can't produce anything ourselves. You know, we're beginning to look like a farcical nation, to be quite honest, Minister. My time is up.